So a new report comes out that says the U.S. is more dependent now on fossil fuels and on buying it from overseas than any other time in history. Now we're going to talk about how this is so much different than when Trump was left office. Not only that, we're going to talk about how these actors just keep coming out for Kamala and all these big superstars. Now, why do we put stock in what an actor says? They literally fake who they are every day on TV. To now come out and say that they're supporting Kamala, you do remember they are actors. They play somebody else. They fake who they are. So do we really care what they say? Then we're also going to talk about, again, the fights to keep our election integrity. Glenn Youngkin, again, is pushing against a judge, along with the DOJ, to keep Virginia safe. A lot of other governors and a lot of other people are trying to do the same thing in most states because they know if it's an honest election, it's going to be a landslide. We're going to talk about all that and a little bit more. We better brace for it because, again, within 2 weeks, I mean, it's like 10 or 11 days, we will know how crazy it will get. Are we going to war or are we able to afford the groceries again? Sadly, that's what it's going to come down to. We'll talk about the Joe Rogan interview too because it's a pretty big deal. Let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome to The Max. Thank you so very much for being here today. If you are new to the channel, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell. If you like the content, give us a thumbs up. We humbly ask that you do that. It means the world to us. And also remember, it is the 26th. We're going to be doing a giveaway in 5 days. So make sure you are subscribed. That's all it takes. And comment saying you're subscribed or comment below about the video. That gets you entered into the giveaway. And we give away hundreds of dollars worth of preps. You can tell I've just got done out of a shower because I just got done running. Make sure, this is not what the video is about, but make sure that you're being active. You know, your children, your grandchildren, they depend on you. And we talk about liberty and freedom and having happiness and making sure we have joy. Well, part of that is making sure we're healthy, eating sustainable. Look at all this food. I mean, that's medicine, herbal goodness back there. The smokehouse right behind it. And we're raising animals because we want the cleanest way of looking at life. And regenerative ag and exercise, that's good things to do. So make sure you're doing those things. And, hey, enjoy your kids with it. I mean, hey, ride bikes, jog, walk. We have fun. We'll do a little workout together. And it's always good. So I digress. That's not what the video is about, but I just wanted to challenge you. Let's start cleaning up our diets. It's funny that we, as Americans, we have the worst diet of all the world. Even in states like Mississippi, it's one of the worst diets ever. We have to be proactive, not only to, heal our lands, we need to heal our bodies too. So, but anyway, so let's go on. Let's talk about these crazy stories today. So first thing, let's kind of jump into some of the celebrities that are now backing Kamala. Again, it's funny how the Diddy situation takes place, and all these actors and celebrities that are tied to Diddy are now coming out for Kamala. I honestly believe that she's using these actors and these people, these celebrities, to come on with her, like Eminem and Beyonce and Leonardo DiCaprio and all these actors, Michael Keaton. I mean, you can name them. They're mostly all liberals or all at least supporting Kamala. The thing that I struggle with is like these people play someone else on TV. They're usually not who they are. They act for a living. They change their persona for a living. That is what they do for a living. I mean, they do well at it. They make tons of money with it. But why do we put stake in who these people are? Why did all these people come to a stadium last night to see Beyonce? I don't know. Why do we care what Leonardo DiCaprio says? Now, the problem I have with it is we put these people on pedestals like they're going to tell us everything that we need to know about the world. We're talking about actors, people who literally play somebody else on TV, someone who fakes who they are for all their life to then tell us what we're supposed to be doing. It's kind of like Leo. DiCaprio, he talks about climate issues. However, he has private jets, private yachts, and has private carriers to take him wherever he wants to go. Does that make sense? Not at all. So I find a problem with that. Now, here's another thing. There's another actor that come out, Zachary Levi, who plays Shazam. He came out and said, I'm supporting, he was supporting RFK and now he's supporting Trump. He said, you'd be surprised how many people that are actually conservative in Hollywood. He said, no, you won't hear about them. He said, they're scared to death to come out and support him because they know they're going to lose their jobs. So what we have is either people who are probably more conservative than they want to be, but they're sellouts because they're scared of losing their job, so they're not willing to stand with true backbone. Or they truly are liberals who literally support Kamala and really have no reason to support her. I think it's amazing. Beyonce came out last night and said that she's not coming as a celebrity, she's not coming as a singer, she's not coming as an actor, she's coming as a mother. In that same breath, she comes as a mother, but then tells you she has the right to abort children. Does that make sense? Not at all. So I don't put stake in this, and I honestly believe if Kamala didn't have these people here, her rallies would be absolutely unattended or just completely boring or a lot shorter. Trump goes and does a 3-hour interview, also goes and sees a family of someone who passed away, and then turns around and flies to a Michigan rally and does a rally late last night. That is energy. He didn't need some kind of superstar to go beside him. It was just him. And he's bringing butts to the seats, as they say. Because not only was his podcast probably one of the most viewed in the quickest time, he brings people to listen to him because people won't change. I love that Kamala's push is, we're not going back. We're turning the page. Again, I feel like a broken record, but what are we turning the page from? They've been in leadership for 4 years. They've been in leadership for 12 of the last 16 years. What are they turning the page from? Their own selves? Come on. And I kind of find it laughable. Last night when Joe Rogan was speaking to Trump made a comment about the wind energy, and it was funny because everybody started debunking the fact that that the wells are not dying. It's actually false. Well, Michael Schellenberger, which is an independent journalist, came out and said the media says Trump lied about what he told Joe about the industrial wind turbines killing wells. But he didn't. He says, in fact, it's worse than Trump said. In the wind industry continues with its boat's noise and vibrations, it will make the North Atlantic well extinct. It's amazing how for thousands of years we do things and then we change from it. Like the diversion of water in California. The farms can't get water. Well, it's because California and their environmentalists and the climate change people to divert water instead of actually helping people grow food. Wind. It kills so many birds and geese, and it's just, you're putting all these chemicals and all this junk in the water. Solar farms, same way. Now, should we come up with new sources of cleaner air and alternative energy? I have no problem with that. But to say that the man lied when we're actually extincting the whales in the name of environment, I think it's just funny. They'll literally shut down a whole reforestation or commercial property over a tree frog, but then we're killing whales with this wind turbine. It just shows the oxymoronic way of thinking. How we're upside down in our thinking. It's kind of like the celebrities. We want them to endorse someone, but then they play somebody else on TV. It just doesn't make sense. This is the same situation. In the name of environment, we're going to clean up our energy. Well, but we'll kill the whales instead. Makes no sense, does it? And that brings me to the next point, and this is where I want to really hone in on. You know why America's weak? I say this all the time. Because we have weak leadership. The world doesn't respect us. I want you to listen to this. The U.S., this is from Zero Hedge, and this is originally from a story in oilprice.com. It says the U.S. is now more dependent on fossil fuels power than even China. So not only are we able to produce and have independence with energy, Trump had that at the very end of his administration. He literally ended up getting to where we were fully independent. But no, that's just too much. Now, listen to this. Increased use of natural gas for power generation has made the U.S. more dependent on fossil fuels for the electricity supply this year than China, the world's top carbon emitter. So we talk about cleaning our fuels and making sure we're doing this stuff independently and doing things for the environment. Actually, the Biden administration has used more fuel. And not only have they used more fuel, they're having to pay more for it and buy from overseas than just tapping our own resources. We could be fully independent and yes, using the blessings of what's under the ground. But no, instead we'd rather buy it from other people, pay more money for it, and then laugh at it, and then try to tell the American people that we're getting off this and we're going to use those wind turbines and those solar energies in some kind of new technology, all the while we're using more fuel than even China did. And China is, the biggest carbon emitter in the world. I just think it's funny. And the whole point of this video is, have we seen the fact of the trend? They say one thing and do the other. Kamala, go back and look at her plot, look at her plans from years ago. Look at her agendas. She has flip-flopped on 15 agendas where She was, for defund the police. Now she's for police. That's false. She was for criminalization of black males in California. However, now she's letting them out. She was staunch on the border. That's what she keeps saying. She is staunch on the border. She is the most secure person for the border. She is going to heal the border. However, she hasn't done that in 4 years, and the Border Patrol agents have now backed Trump. Here's another thing. Not only has she flip-flopped, the biggest unions that typically support Democrats, they can't endorse her. Most of them cannot endorse her because the rank and file, the people who actually work for the unions, which I've always told you, it's amazing, the laborers and the union workers are the ones that's actually fronting the bills and doing all the work. The union bosses and the leadership wants to endorse, liberal candidates, but ultimately most of the rank and file support Trump this year. 68% of the Teamsters. So the Teamsters, instead of endorsing Trump, which they should have, they said, oh no, we can't endorse this year. You know what else? These newspapers like LA Times, WAPO, and now everybody's mad at Jeff Bezos because he's saying the paper can't endorse. You know why they can't? Because it wasn't one of those things where everybody wanted to endorse Kamala. But because he was willing to say, look, we can't do this. We don't have that. There's no point in doing it because, for one thing, it's not 100%. And as the owner, I'm not 100% behind her. And then everybody gets mad at him for having an opinion. It's kind of like Elon. When you voice, and even Zachary Levi with the movie star, when you voice your opinion that doesn't go along with this narrative of this liberal agenda and this ideology of the left, you become ostracized and you become the bad person. Jeff Bezos is not conservative. He's done great for Amazon. We buy stuff off Amazon. I'm not saying it's right or good, but I'm saying he's his own business, like Elon. They've developed and built jobs, and you probably know somebody that works for one of their companies. They've done a lot for America. But just because he's choosing to not endorse Kamala, not that he's endorsing Trump, people hate him for it. That's what blows my mind. Freedom of speech, freedom of liberty, and freedom of choice, and then all of a sudden they get mad and they want to literally destroy these businesses. They're like, boycott, get rid of WAPO, boycott Amazon, get rid of Twitter, boycott Starlink. It blows my mind. If you took all the people that actually use Starlink and Amazon, and then all the ones that saying boycott, it's funny because most of them use that technology. And again, Jeff Bezos didn't come out and say, I'm a Trump supporter. He just said, we're not, as a paper, going to endorse Kamala. Kamala has lost all the endorsements that typically Democrats would get. It shows she's failing. It shows that there could be some panic with the Democrats. Why do you think they're bringing out every past president, every big celebrity to these events? Because Kamala is unlikable and everybody realizes it. Truthfully, they probably should have just stuck with the Biden plan and just let it lay like it did and probably had a better chance, not to beat Trump, but have probably a better chance than what Kamala's done. But hey, I hope she goes on Rogan. I hope she does all these interviews because the more that she does interviews, the more she speaks, the better it gets for Trump. And lastly, as she's doing these events, as Biden is on vacation, he's in Delaware on vacation, Iran and Israel are literally on the brink of war. Now, is there a lot more to this, or is it not much because they keep bombing just the same little places here and there, and they'll take out these little targets, and are they going to have all that war? I don't know. Here's the thing, though. Where is the people in the White House? Kamala was with Beyonce, and Biden is on a beach. And then the Department of Defense leaked all this documentation last week, just accidentally. Where's the leadership from the White House? One thing you got to give Trump, I don't care what you say, and actually one thing you got to give a lot of these guys like Bush and even some of the liberals like Clinton, they didn't shy away from their jobs. They didn't shy away from their jobs. Where is our leadership in the White House? Do we honestly believe the last 3 or 4 years have been better than the previous 4 years? We're using more fuel, even though they're telling you they're not. They're using more fuel and actually paying for other people to produce it because of this green energy initiative, compared to just pumping our own, using our own, and being honest with it. They always want to tell you something and actually do the opposite. Is that what true leadership is? One thing Trump, I like what he said last night, and I like what Rogan said. He said, I don't know why I'm so polarizing or why I'm so popular. Why do people, report what I say? And Joe Rogan says, because you say a lot of wild stuff. He used another word, but You know why? What Trump did say, he said people are not going to affect Biden. People are not going to go after Biden. People are not going to go after Kamala. He said because they're not consequential. That was a big statement. Listen to what he's saying. He's in McKinley. The reason they went after him is because his push against income tax. He was a tariff guy. Why did they push against Abraham Lincoln? Why did they go after him? Because he was against the narrative. Why did they go after JFK? Because he was against the narrative. They were consequential guys. Trump's a consequential guy. The reason they're going after him and Musk and some of these people is because they're wanting to change the way things are going. And they want to bring America back to where its goodness and greatness once was. Name one European country, name one in the European Union that you said that's brought back to greatness. France was once a big player. Germany once a big player. Britain once a big player. Italy once a big player. Good or bad, I'm just saying. Once they're big players. Now, they're all subpar, no leadership, and the European Union is dying. Its own people is dying, and they're having to import people to keep their numbers up, to at least have a union. We don't want that. It's time to make America great. And making America great means you have a consequential leader who's willing to make the hard decisions and make things change. Trump is wanting to unify and have legacy. I'll tell you another thing. And again, you could get mad or whatever about it. Why do you think he brought Tulsi and RFK in? Again, he told you unity. You know, the biggest statement in 2016 was lock her up, lock her up. You know what he didn't do? He didn't lock her up. You know what that shows? That shows that he was willing to put bygones be bygones and let me lead the country. He wasn't retaliatory. He even came out this week and said, I'm open to looking at the case with Hunter to pardon him. Now, you may disagree with that, but what I'm trying to say to you is this. That's grace. That's what true leadership is. That he's staunch and hard on some issues and then understands grace and mercy on another. Does that not make him a saint? No, not by far. What it does is it makes him a good leader. And you know what? Even though I don't agree with everything RFK says or everything Tulsi says or everything this liberal that's now supporting Trump says, I think it's great that he's showing unity. And if we can get one thing out of this, if we get a better legacy and unity to where we bring people back to the norm and make America great again, then I think that would be a plus. No matter how much grace he shows or how much mercy he shows or how strong he is on some of the areas. You know what? If we didn't have China going into Taiwan, if we didn't have Russia going into Ukraine, if we didn't have the Middle East issues, think of how much money that we've wasted putting in all those places just in this last 4 years. Think if we had all that money here. Think of all that money going towards the deficit. Think if we had all that money not being charged extra taxes for Americans. True leaders shine, and they're consequential, and they're going to say the hard things and do the hard parts. You didn't have no one in the White House in the Situation Room while Iran and Israel were bombing each other last night. One's on vacation, and one's doing a rally with a celebrity. Where's the leadership? It's not there. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this video. We appreciate you watching each and every day. We humbly ask that you share our videos and give us a thumbs up. And please make sure that you are watching daily, as sometimes they try to suppress us. Guys, thank you for watching. God bless.
Be free.